Hey guys, it's me, Halloween Dan, doing a little video today, just another one of these videos where I have a little chat about Halloween and what it means to me and why it is I love it so much. Basically, I'm sat at home with a swollen ankle, there's little for me to do, and I want to talk about Halloween like I always kind of do. So that's exactly what this is. So if you fancy a little chat about Halloween, if you want a little further insight into why I love Halloween so much, carry on watching. I'd also love to hear more about what it is about Halloween you like. I know there's plenty of you out there that love it as much as me, and I like hearing that I'm not so weird thinking about Halloween as much as I do all through the year. So if you do have that same impulse to talk about Halloween, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because I want to build a little army of people who think like me, because we're few and far between, trust me. Write me a little comment. I love to hear what it is that makes Halloween special for you. So let's get into it. So I've spoken plenty about why I love Halloween, lots of things, movies, films, TV shows, music, the paranormal, witchcraft and wizardry, and anything that's kind of got a spooky, eerie edge, the autumn. There's a myriad of things I love about Halloween. But this thing is an odd thing, and it's kind of a bit more about me personally, and it goes a little bit deeper than just those external factors. I think I always related to Halloween in a strange kind of way, because Halloween is kind of like the outcast in the UK, which is a bizarre thing to say. I'm not saying I'm an outcast. I'm just saying that Halloween is, in the UK, it's changing, but there are still very few people who celebrate Halloween on the scale I do, or see Halloween as anything other than just a day at the end of October. It's not a big factor in most people's head. It's not on the scale of Christmas or Easter like we've just had. You know, it's not even, as I would say, even things like Valentine's Day are more widely celebrated than something like Halloween, which that annoys me, to be quite honest. But though its popularity is certainly growing, being led by people like me who push for it more and more and want to get bigger and bigger, it still is kind of the black sheep of the holiday spectrum in the UK. And I suppose I related to it in a bizarre way when I was growing up, because that's kind of how I felt in general in life. I was a bit of a black sheep. I was different from most people. Everything from the sort of comedy I found funny to the things that I liked to do. I was always quite introverted as a kid as well. There was nothing. I loved Christmas and Easter and all those other things, but there was just something about Halloween, and I think it was that thing of not many other people did it, or at least not big, that kind of made me want to. I kind of wanted to take this holiday that was very sporadically celebrated, and I kind of wanted to make it mine. And it sounds weird. I've talked about all the other weird little factors that made me like Halloween, and all of those things kind of pushed together make my love of Halloween. But there is another weird little thing. So I work in a shop. I've worked in the same shop for about 20 years. Sad, I know. When I first started working at the shop, it was in a different location, and they used to have windows to put displays in, display windows. And the displays were always kind of a bit half-arsed. No one could really be bothered doing them. They were kind of a lot of work for not a lot of yield. But I was always quite artistic and liked creating things and making things and decorating. I've always been into that kind of stuff. So when it came to doing it, I took it on. I liked doing it. So when Halloween came along, I knew that I wanted to do a Halloween-themed display, which had never been done in this shop. And I think up until I started doing it, apart from maybe the odd shop putting maybe like a pumpkin in the window or something, no one else did it either. So that Halloween, I was probably about 17, I say. I went home, I chopped down some dead branches off a tree in my mum's garden, picked up a load of dead leaves and took them into work. I hung a skeleton in the window, kind of reaching out, and I made myself a little pumpkin out of cardboard. I put a little pretend candle in, and I had it all lit green and red and all the cut and orange, and it looked epic. The actual things, the things that were for sale really got lost in the display, but people loved it. It was like nothing they'd ever seen before in the village that I live. So it was like, wow, you're the guy who did that awesome display. Such a good job. Really good job, Dan. And year after year, I wanted to kind of beat myself. And it was this sort of creative thing I had. And that, I think it's another reason why Halloween, I kind of grabbed it with both hands and ran. Because for anyone who's ever even a little bit creative, if you like art or making things, crafts and hobbies and all that kind of stuff, if that's the sort of stuff you're into, Halloween is just an explosion of imagination for someone like me. There are so many avenues you can go down. There are so many things you can make if you've got the time and the patience. I think it's the only time of year where my imagination is allowed to go absolutely wild, and I can do whatever I want and build whatever I want exactly how I want it to look. Whereas every other time of year, whether it be Christmas or Easter, you can decorate however you want, say at Christmas, but you're kind of restricted, to what's acceptable at Christmas. You can't, people do all kinds of crazy things nowadays, and you can do whatever you like in your home. But you're kind of stuck within the traditions of what it is at Christmas, the tree, the lights, the this, the that, and the other. You can do it a myriad of ways, but you're still kind of restrained by the traditions. Halloween hasn't got any of that. You can do whatever you want, and people do. And I love that about it, and it gives my imagination a field day. I can literally go berserk and do whatever I want and build whatever I want and make it look however I want. And I love that. As someone who loves building things and creating things and making things and creating these weird sort of atmospheres around my Halloween display, that's what I enjoy about it. I think as well it kind of says more about me as well, because there were so few things I was actually very good at when I was growing up. I wasn't the best at sports. In fact, I avoided sports. I hated sports. I was not the best academically. I was okay, I was average, but I wasn't really good at school. And everyone else seemed to have their thing, the hobby they were good at, or whatever it was, a hobby or a sport or an academic thing they were good at. There was just always something. Everyone had their thing. And growing up, I didn't have a thing. There was no one thing that I was better at than anyone else, or that I enjoyed more than anyone else. I was just Mr. Average Dan. And then as a teenager, I think as I discovered not only my love for Halloween, but discovered that I was good at doing Halloween. I was good at making displays, and I was good at imagining crazy stories for parties or whatever it was. It became my thing. And it's hard to, most people's things, like most of my friends, their things will be a sport, like, oh, I'm really into golf, or I'm really into rugby. They're really good at building stuff, but it's not like decorative stuff. It's like putting together like a deck or something. They're all really good at these things, and they kind of make those things their thing. Me, not so much. I'm kind of very average in that respect. But when it comes to creating stuff and imaginative stuff, I kind of always top everyone. And Halloween is my opportunity to really show everyone my thing, what I'm good at. And I do believe that plays a big part in why I love it so much. And I've touched on this briefly before, but I was just sat here today and I was thinking, what is it really that drives my passion for Halloween? And I do think a big part of it is that I'm not very good at most things. I'm either average or below average at most things. But Halloween is not one of those things. At least not amongst my friends and family. I know there are people who watch this who have haunts that are on an epic scale, who go far beyond what I've ever created or could ever dream of creating. But amongst my friends and family, and in the town I live, in the neighbourhood I'm in, I'm number one. And it's good sometimes to be number one at something, even if that something only happens once a year. But you know, once a year is better than no time a year. And I'm sorry that I keep on doing these videos where I'm talking just randomly about Halloween and my love for it. But that's part of why this channel exists. I created this channel to talk about Halloween to people who think and love Halloween the same way I do. Because there are so few people in my life, apart from maybe my kids, who get Halloween like I do, who think of Halloween like I do. There's no one else, my wife, my family, my friends, no one I know is right now thinking about Halloween or wearing a Halloween themed t-shirt in April. Nobody. Nobody else I know is thinking that. But I know that out there in the internet ether of the world, there are people who are thinking about Halloween. There are people who are waiting patiently for Halloween, who can't wait to start their Halloween adventure in whatever way whatever shape or form that is. And I'm one of you. And I'm there. And I don't know exactly how all my dreams are going to turn out this year. Most of them might go up in flames. And like I say, the weather doesn't often help in this country. But the dream is there. And I love sharing that dream with you guys. And I love being part of this Halloween collective where we can all sort of talk about Halloween as much or as little as we want at any time of year. And feel like we're not completely crazy for wanting to do that. Anyway guys, thank you for watching another one of my random chat videos, and if you get the chance to comment on why you love Halloween and what it is you really enjoy about Halloween and why it means so much to you and why you like talking about it all year round, please write me a little comment, because I love hearing from you guys about stuff like that, because it makes me feel less like a freak of nature. Yay! See you in the next one guys, keep it spooky, bye!